want to get on sperm donor. You don't need a man.
Women like you always try to eliminate men, and that's where the issue is. You just said you don't need a man.
You don't.
I don't need no man.
Oh, God.
Jesus,
Say it again.
I don't need no man.
Say it louder and like you fucking mean it, bitch.
I don't need no man.
That's what I thought.
In many cases, men have been reduced to a wallet.
No, a woman does not need a man if she can financially take care of herself.
That's really crazy. First of all, yes, I can see my face looks like this. Broke my nose playing basketball. Don't worry about it. I'll be all right. Now, the most wild part about what this is that this is like a social trend. It's like a social infection where that's all the man is good for. Like, people don't understand that a relationship is not what can you do for me that I can't do for myself. That's not what it is. In reality, it's a give and take. It's a relationship. You give me what I need and I give you what you need. But it's not both emotionally and physically, all that. But it's not one of those things where if you have your own job, men are useless now. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Because if you have a job and men are useless, then all men are good for is money. Which means, what are you doing in that relationship? To me, if you say that I don't need a man because I can pay for everything, you're a prostitute. And here's what I mean by that. You think that when you're in the relationship, all you're doing with the man is having him exchange money for basically your body. Because to you, that's all he's good for. So he's there to provide money, and you're there to provide him the services that he thinks he should get from getting the money. I don't see no difference to prostitution.
Fortunately, things have evolved, and guess what? We don't need men.
I am self-sufficient. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. Do we need men in our society?
No.
So, just to touch on the last thing that she said. So you're self-sufficient. That means you don't need a man. Being self-sufficient just means you're an adult. Everyone's supposed to be self-sufficient. We did a video about going 50-50, and bro said, you are responsible for 100% of everything that happens in your life. You're an adult. You're not a child. You're not a fucking dependent. Mm-hmm. So the fact that a lot of these women are so proud that, I have my own job, I'm independent, I'm 100% self-sufficient. Congratulations, you and every other man in the fucking world. No men are out here saying, I got a job. I have money to pay for my own stuff. As if that's a fucking accomplishment. Shit is disgusting.
It's just weird because we tie the needs of necessities of materialistic things that we as human beings created as something that is needed. The whole point of why we need each other is because that is the way that the way the world balances itself. Mm-hmm. You have the sun and the moon, you have fire, water, like literally everything is in this world in order to create balance is you have it the once cut. You have one thing and then you have its opposite. We are literally made for each other because we have to sustain life, and we are social constructed creatures, so we need to work with each other. It's not the fact that, he can do for me by buying me X, Y, and Z or whatever. No, it's because we need to sustain life and we need each other. That's all it is. And we are also, social creatures. We need to interact with one another. We need to feel loved, feel like we have a place of belonging.
Well, you don't belong anywhere if you definitely don't belong with this person if all you are to them is a source of money. If all you are is something to prod to make money come out.
But let's remove money because we're the ones that created money. We're the ones that created this social, the economic structure that it is. Remove that, and guess what? We'll be back to the basic stuff that we've been doing because we're animals.
Well, that's the thing.
You're gonna look to a man because guess what? You need his protection. You need his strength. You need his wisdom. All that stuff. We need men. So stop with this bullshit because remove all this other social structure that we have right now that makes us complacent. We're going back to the basic world. And guess what? Like we did in a video before, that's a scary ass place.
Yeah, and in that place, you're going to need men because. Again, this is something that is like beating a dead horse, but it's like most women can't fight. Most of you are fucking weak, and small. Like when it comes to and in the state of nature, as Thomas Hobbes used to say, there's an abundance of things that require large amounts of physical strength and physical labor, right? Something that your body's not being built to handle. They're designed to be like that. Mm-hmm. All of these things, all of this I don't need men is all socially constructed delusion. That's all that is. Because, like my wife was saying, when you're in the state of nature, you're only worried about survival and who can do what the best to facilitate that survival. Mm-hmm. When you get into a society where we have police, we have phones to call for help, people born too far into this society, they almost forget what life used to be like, even like in the 1800s. Mm-hmm. Like, you say we don't need men. Sure you do. And I could create dozens, hundreds of scenarios that could make you need a man right this fucking second. You and me start shaking. 2, 3 women your same size come out to help you. You just created 2 more victims. It's a man you need to stop me. Who are the construction workers, electricians, all that shit? Those are almost all men, male dominated fields. Name another building to get built without men on this fucking earth. What are you talking about?
Absolutely.
Not another house. Let me tell you something. I don't remember if I ever seen a woman building a house ever.
Or
on the roof nailing shingles ever.
Or like the video that we did before where the survival tactics.
Yeah.
It was men versus women.
Yeah,
and
there was
women
hold on. There was this thing. There were men versus women. I forget. It's a show that people watch, but I forget what it is. Yeah. It's they were all on an island. They put the men on the men by themselves, and then the women by themselves, and they said, "All right, go to the island and reach and camp and survive there." Right? It was like Naked and Afraid, something like that. Some shit like that.
Or survival, show like it's called Survival or something like that.
In 5 minutes, the men all had a powwow, fucking assigned duties to each person based on what they're capable of, and as a group, they all got over there immediately. Some people started hunting. Some people started making a fire. Some people started building a house. Some people started doing other shit, digging a trench, whatever they was doing. And all that shit collectively got done spick span. Mm-hmm. The women
got lost.
First of all, they spent the whole beginning part arguing with each other about what to do. The men had already decided what to do and had been gone. They were still arguing about what to do. They then begrudgingly do it while still arguing with each other. Get lost on the way there and end up in the same place they were, and then collectively have a nervous breakdown.
They had no structure.
Then they have this nervous breakdown. Then they try to get to the island. They finally get there, and they realize that they see all the men running around, laughing, having fun. They got a fire. They got a house.
Then it started raining on them, and they went over to them just to say, "Can we get like?"
Yeah, it's like, brother.
It was terrible. So we don't need men. These women need to watch these reality shows of surviving.
That's crazy.
And see how well they'll do because they failed.
The way it started raining, these niggas didn't have no house, no shelter, no fire. I was like, you really gonna die in the elements. Mm-hmm. And so they literally had to go over to the other team. I mean, obviously it's a TV show, so they'll fucking send a helicopter to get you if you're gonna die. Right. But they had to go over to the men and beg for a place to go inside
and get food.
And get
food. They was hungry.
Right, they had no food, no shelter, nothing. And it's like, oh, you don't need men. So when you're in that scenario, what's gonna happen? First of all, most of the police are men. Most of the military is men. If you take off all the men off the planet. Like when something happens, no one will be there to save you. That's crazy to me. It's not even like, oh, men are so important. We're more important than women. No. We're both equally important. We both got jobs to do. You do this and I do that because you're better at that and I'm better at this. That's how it works. But when you start to hear people talk like this, you're like, I think you motherfuckers are stupid. I think you really have been living in this place so long that or your whole life really, right? That you forgot that there could be a scenario where you cannot summon the authorities or call for help or anything like that. Like, people don't even understand who run the power plant. Like, when you cut the light on, where do you think that comes from? When you turn the water, where do you think that comes from? You think that just happens? Or is it not somebody somewhere manning a switchboard and shit, cutting off valves and turning them on, whatever? It's like, let those people disappear and see how fast your water shut off, your electricity shut off, like the mail don't get delivered. Brother, please.
I just want to touch base on what you said, which is perfect. Yes, we need each other. And just like my husband said, one gender can do one thing better, and then the other one can do what they do better. For instance, women take care of kids a lot better. It's not that men are not capable, because there are plenty of single fathers that are actually out there and doing their thing. Like, kudos to them. But women tend to do it better. So why wouldn't women take care of kids? Just like men are better at building, at this and that and third, why not allow them to do it? Because they do it better. It's the same concept. It's not that women are incapable. Yes, there are things in
everybody
our
can do
society,
everything,
right?
But there's degrees to everything.
Right, there you go.
There's degrees to
Exactly.
everything. It's like, yes, of course you can carry the fucking log if you really want to, but I'm twice your size.
Right.
I'll carry it faster.
We would have to use structures like a strap in order to try to pull, and with unison of people to pull
You might need
the
2,
log.
3 people, whatever. It's
More
like,
than that,
right.
men could do it with fewer
few
people.
right? So it's like,
women.
why, so in that scenario, it's like, why would we have you do that?
Right.
Because obviously there's someone else who can do it better.
Right.
So when you say you don't need men, that is demonstrative of your own delusion.
Right.
Actually, no. No.
Why?
They suck.
Do we
Okay.
need men? Most answered very quickly, no.
Because men are useless. I
Ah.
want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men.
Broadly speaking, I feel like men have proven largely useless.
Listen, I keep saying this. The more we uplift and empower women in society, the more they don't need a man in return.
Hey, shout out to the Daily Wrap Up crew. We were on there one time. They do good work. Go over there and follow them. Now, as far as I'm concerned, men are largely useless. That's a psychopath. That's a crazy person. You can't deal with crazy, right? At a certain point, you just have to let, what my mom say, who don't hear will feel. Eventually, you're going to be in a scenario, you're not going to be looking for a girl. You're going to be looking for a man, baby. That's not my business. Hold that L with you, please.